Hello, good evening. Today I wish to present a translation from Armenian into English. It's a piece written by Avedik Isahakian, a really great personality and one of the big Armenian writers. He has a lot of really great works, and yesterday I started to translate the Saadi's Last Spring into German and then translated it into English. And I wish to present the English translation, and the German I will not present because I intend to present another work of him and then maybe publish it, the Armenian and the German translation. But enjoy the English. It's a really great piece and I hope you like it. Saadi's Last Spring. Spring had come. It was one of those countless earth-transforming springs of which Saadi, the poet of joy and sadness, had seen 100. Saadi had woke up early that morning and went to the flowering garden on the bank of the Ronabad river to hear the nightingale sing once again and to witness again the miracle of spring. He gazed at the plain of Shiraz, which threw a childlike innocent blessing and adorning roses covered the slumber of the morning in a white veil of fog. Saadi sat under a flowering yasmin and a beautiful rug from Isfahan. He held a green-red rasped rosebud in his trembling hands and whispered, "Like a young maiden smiles upon the lover who embraces her, so does the rose part its lips for the morning breeze." Although Saadi was now very old, his soul still saw and heard through half-closed lids and ears the wondrous events and images of this world, the songs, the silence of the unknown distances. For the magic spirit of poetry, the emerald bird that made its nest on top of Mount Kaf amidst the stars still spoke to him. The grey-feathered nightingales with their bright eyes sang enchanting with their fiery fire of love, and they sang in the heart of Saadi. The virgin breath of a caressing breeze brought the roses greeting from far off captivated roses, as Saadi's soul understood these declarations of love. A loving heart will always understand the words of the elements and nature. The world is full of harmony. Its unarmed intoxication is immortal. He recalled his words he once had uttered long ago. His ears hung on the songs of the nightingales. His white head was dipped in red roses and sucked in the fragrance of lightness. He closed his eyes with that fragrance of wine. He saw the world in his soul like a dream within a dream. He saw the still rivers of India adorned by sacred lotus. He saw the wise elephants meditating in the dark of the jungle. In the golden palaces of Delhi, he saw the lovely maidens stringing with red water lilies braided in their night-glorifying hair. He saw the stormy steppes of Turan and its storms, the wild villains swinging their swords like lightning. He also saw the burning desert where the Bedouins on their horses furiously chased lions under the wings of eagles. And he saw the endless caravans of pious pilgrims. With prayers and songs they knelt at the gates of Mecca. And he saw the ancient wonders of Egypt and the crystal of the blue seas, and the young women of Damascus dressed in velvet with their moonlight bodies, whose long and delicate arms were wrapped around the neck of young Saadi like a necklace. Saadi sighed and opened his eyes. Oh, my 100 years have flown by like a sweet dream, like one night's vision. The years have flown by like a second, for you have always been my companions. Your fairy tales, nightingales and roses, and you sisters of the roses, maidens full of bliss. The sun broke from the heavenly gardens that sparkled with flowers, and the grasses, leaves, stones, and cliffs glittered, for the night had strewn diamond dust over them all. Saadi's gaze was deep as he looked at the blue heavens and the birds soaring in the gold of sunrise. He looked upon them with wonder and awe. Truly, the world is a miracle, a fairy tale. It is eternal, wondrous, and beautiful. Each day I look out upon the world, and each day I am amazed anew, as if I were seeing it for the first time. The world is familiar yet wonderful, old yet ever new. New with eternal and inexpressible beauty equal only to itself. Saadi again looked out upon the world, at the multiform and magical play of nature, and noticed two doves stepping with coral red feet upon the green meadow as they billed and chuckled. And again Saadi spoke aloud. The world is enchanted, everything in it is under the spell of a magic rod in the hand of an invisible witch, and all has turned into a fairy tale. The world rushes on headlong, falling apart and ever changing, but what recreates and rebuilds this magnificent world again, spreading this wonderful fairy tale before us? What makes the gazelle, its heart weary with love's passion, clamber up the sharp cliffs, breaking its horns on the rocks? What makes the rose burst its bright green cover and emit such sweet fragrance? What makes a human being break forth from the unknown and acquire flesh and blood in order to think and suffer, to feel the flames of our scorching desires and never want to die? Ah, love, you unconquerable force, you sweet tyrann, long have I known you, and yet never was I able to fully comprehend your depth and your essence. Saadi's intuition told him that this was to be his last spring. His last spring. The garden gate opened, yielded her snow-white body to the caresses of the breeze. Nazihat of Shiraz, Saadi's beloved, who often came to him, entered. Her lips as heady as wine, the whiteness and heat of her necked arms had often delighted the sleepless nights of the poet. Saadi loved her with all his youthful, unfading heart, having drawn her letters of gold in his immortal Gulistan. Nazihat approached, her arms filled with roses, and greeted him, herself as fragrant as a rose. The poet was sad. sadness lay on his lips. What grieves you, O most happy of mortals? Saadi was silent. I love your wistfulness, O Saadi. Your sadness is wise, for have you heavenly lips not said that pearls are born of wounds and that the fragrance of incense is sweet as it burns? Saadi gazed upon her with a faded smile. Look, I have brought you roses, velvet roses from my garden. She showered Saadi with roses and touched the poet's sad face with the tips of her bright fingers. The roses which you gave me, O heavenly maiden, were always the best roses in the world and never faded. Yes, Saadi, why, as one breathes in the fragrance of a rose, must one think of its short life? Remember its fragrance, and then you will soon forget that it has long since faded. Has yet repeated the poet's once spoken words in her silvery voice. And her hair that called up dreams fell on Saadi's face as she sank down beside him. Then a fragrant breeze blew through the orchard, its rainbow wings fluttering. It was the wondrous wings of the green bird fluttering in the air as Saadi stroked Naziat's dreamy hair with a faltering hand. Then Saadi cast a glance from the bottom of his soul upon the fairy tale world ablaze around him. He glanced at the bright smile of the lovely maiden, and a hot tear burned his old heart. Then taking the girl's small hand in his, he kissed it and on the last pages of my Gulistan with your own small hand. We are not born of our own will. We live in wonder and die in anguish. So this is Avedik Isahakian's Saadi's Last Spring. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. Tadesutun.